So before we can sew with our machine, we have to insert the bobbin or load the bobbin. So I have an empty bobbin here. So the first thing you do is you put thread in the spindle pin and secure it with the spindle holder, and then load the thread through the bobbin winder tension disc. This is the disc, the bobbin winder tension disc. You have to put your thread through it. So let me show you so you can see very clearly. This is the place you have to put this thread in through it. Okay, it has to go in through here. Sorry, it has to go in through here and inside. Then you know you're ready to start winding your bobbin. So when you have done this, when you have fed the thread into this tension disc, you take the end of the thread. And feed it through any of the holes at the end of the bobbin cylinder. Like on each end, you have two holes on each end. You have 2 holes on each end. So any of these holes, you can actually put the thread through that hole. So once you have fed the thread through any of the holes on the bobbin, you now put the bobbin on the bobbin winder. You can cut off any excess thread. You now put the thread on the bobbin winder. Make sure that this thread is taut. It is taut. Then you put on your machine. No, you have to make sure it is taut. Then you push the bobbin winder to the right. Once you push this to the right, you can't sew with this machine using your needle anymore. Any energy supplied to this machine will start loading the bobbin. The bobbin is the only thing that will work once this bobbin winder is pushed to the right. When you push it to the left, this bobbin winder will no longer work, and you can sew normally with your machine. The machine will now be in normal operation. But once you push it to the right, the machine will now be in bobbin operation, and it will only load. It will only send energy here or power here, depending on the kind of machine you have, and it will only load the bobbin. You can't sew. So now that we have it like this, I'll put on my machine. As you can see, light has come here. The light has come here to show you that I have put on my machine. And then I will press the foot control pedal. So here you go. You have to keep holding this. Step on the foot control pedal, and as you can see, it starts loading the bobbin. So when it has loaded it, you can now cut this off, because if you don't cut it off and you release, it will now go and entangle with the threads that are loading, and that's not going to be good for you when you start sewing, to give you a problem. And then you start, you continue. Until you've gotten the thread to the level you want. So now when you have the thread to the level you want, you can now cut the thread, release the bobbin winder, remove your bobbin, remove the thread from the bobbin tension disc, and thread your machine as normal. But now you have to thread your machine anyways. We need to insert the bobbin. This is where you put your bobbin into. Okay, your bobbin case normally comes from here. Okay, so I removed the bobbin case so that I can actually load the bobbin. It actually comes from here. So with your bobbin case, see where you have to eye. So with your thread flowing away from you, and with this hole also flowing away from you, you want this hole to be like clockwise away from you, not towards you, but away from you. And then the thread flowing, see the direction? Your thread is flowing away from you. You put this in. You put, with the thread flowing away from you, you put the bobbin into the bobbin case. Okay? Then you take the thread from the bobbin case. This is the thread. The thread from the bobbin case. And you take it through this thin edge you see right here. There's a little edge you see there. You take it through it. Your goal is for the thread to actually snap into this place. So you take it through it and keep pushing till it snaps in, like it just did. And then your thread is out of the bobbin. It will flow out of the bobbin. Now I'm holding it by the latch. I'm making sure that the thread is flowing away from you, flowing like a river away from you. Okay, it's still flowing like a river away from me. You put it into the bobbin holder. The thread is still flowing. Make sure it is still flowing away from you. It's still flowing away from you. Holding that thread. Well, you will notice I have a loop. Let me bring the machine a bit close to you so you can see that I have a loop. You see that? That's actually what you need to do. You need it. That is why you are turning the hand wheel so as to push this needle down so that the thread from the needle will go and catch the thread from the bobbin. And now, because you're holding this thread, you're holding it loosely, not too firm, not too strong. Because you're holding this thread, it will now force this loop to come up when the hand wheel is bringing the needle up. And once that happens, let me bring it closer so that you can see the loop. Okay, that's the loop. So once that happens, you drag the thread from the bobbin. You drag it on top of the needle plate. You drag it up on top of the needle plate. This is the needle plate. So you drag it up. I can close my bobbin now. And I have two threads. One from the bobbin and one from the needle. I have two threads now. One from the bobbin, one from the needle. And I can start sewing. So that's all you need to start sewing.